Guys, I want to invite you to our Facebook group. It's Owner Operator Forum. So if you join, you're going to be with a lot of like-minded people, trucking business oriented. Jose and I are there answering questions. We have a lot of behind the scenes and extra footage. So Owner Operator Forum Facebook group. Join right now. We're also hiring. If you're a driver or an owner operator looking for a safe place and a good place to be, head us up at erateam.us. It's erateam.us, and you will have instructions how to reach out to us, and we would be more than happy to have you on our team.
Welcome to Truck You Podcast, guys. My name's Jose.
Sebastian here. How's it going?
Good, brother. Glad to have you back. How's your trip?
I know. It was pretty nice. I went to Honduras for 5 days. Pretty cool. The island, Roatan. So, very nice. A nice place. Yeah, I didn't show you any pictures yet, but I didn't take a lot of pictures.
No?
There was a lot of...
GoPro on your head while you were scuba diving, maybe, or no?
No, I didn't take it. I know. I should have. I forgot, but it was a lot of fun. Just a lot of beach time. Thank you for asking. How was it when I was in here?
Good. We got a lot of shit done.
I know. I actually checked in, and I saw everything's going smooth, so it made me happy. We've been redoing. So what's going on in the shop? You want to talk about?
Yeah. So we got another tech. He started Monday. We have a helper helping around with relocating our parts room.
Another parts guy, yeah.
Organizing, correct. And we have another tech coming in for interview today.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're definitely expanding the team. That's a good thing.
We're still hiring. So if there's anybody interested as a tech, please hit us up. We keep interviewing. So hit us up, guys. And the parts room, we're moving that all the way to the back.
Towards the back.
Two. Now we're combining everything and relocating a little bit. Right. That was a good idea. So a lot of cleanup. We still have to clean, and I would like to plan an open house.
Pressure wash the floor, hopefully, right?
Yeah. And let's plan an open house for September.
Okay.
Yeah. And have everything. We'll have everything ready by now. But what are we talking about here today?
Today we're going to be talking about truck prices.
Brandon, why do you think? Why do you think we should talk about it?
Why should we? I would say since a lot of guys are wanting to go into the owner-op position, they should be aware of the pricing. I mean, that's if you want to be buying and purchasing a new truck. But regardless, you should know what the market's going for right now.
It's affecting the used truck market for sure, And what I would say is, it's a timely topic to talk about because it's been a while since we've seen something like that, and I think why not just research it and talk about it and see what's happening, because I've got some fresh articles that we can talk about. All right. What do you think? How much does a new truck cost, you think, right now?
Right now, I mean, roughly, I would always say mid 150 range, I would say.
150 range, okay.
150 to, I would say, 185 around there.
You want to do a bracket? What's the bracket, you think?
The bracket, I would say 130, right?
130 to
200.
Okay, yeah.
200.
If you spec it nice, like crazy, then definitely
it's going to be going up.
It's going to be going up for sure.
That 130 range would be definitely for a day cab, though, right? I mean, I doubt you're going to get a sleeper for 130.
I haven't looked at day cabs, to be honest with you, but it's probably around there.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the prices went up generally across the board, but yeah, day cabs tend to be a lot less. They were at that 90, 100, 110 mark.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you, now, but I would like to just kind of build up to the pricing and really go to the origins of what is a price, right? Because I would like to establish, like, what are we talking about here, right? Do you know what price is on anything, on any type of product or service?
So I found some information right on Wikipedia as far as the pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Pricing is the process whereby a business sets the price at which it will sell its products and services, and may be part of the business's marketing plan. In settling In setting prices, the business will take into account the price at which it could acquire the goods, the manufacturing cost, the marketplace, competition, market condition, brand, and quality of the product.
So in other words, it's establishing a value for service or product that you're doing. But there's a caveat to this one, because I want to talk about peak and off-peak pricing, which is what I think is happening right now, and what we've been experiencing in the industry as far as trucks. So peak and off-peak pricing is a form of price discrimination where the price variation is due to some type of seasonal factor. The objective of peak and off-peak pricing is to use prices to even out peaks in troughs in demand. Peak and off-peak pricing is widely used in tourism, travel, and also in utilities such as electricity providers. Peak pricing has caught the public's imagination since the ride-sharing service provider, Uber, commenced using surge pricing and has sought to patent the technologies that support this approach. All right, so surge pricing, you know how Uber works with surge pricing, right?
No.
So when the demand is high and there's not enough trucks, the prices go up for that service. So in other words, I landed coming back from Honduras, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna Uber back to my place. And I looked at the price. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Just because it was I think it was a Sunday night, and there was just not a lot of trucks, Ubers driving around, and the prices were double what I would usually pay, right? And so that's we're gonna see that more and more. And from what this says, is like, apps do that because, I mean, first, why wouldn't you? And second, now all of a sudden apps have so much data and visibility in how markets work and services that they can adjust the price accordingly to specific time, which I've seen some $200 Uber rides. I have never done one. I would just take a taxi.
Oh yeah.
At that point, which is
I
crazy.
mean, for $200, how much would be the radius? I mean, how far you got to travel? 50 miles at least.
Yeah, but my inbound was free because I got a ride from Rick to the airport. But usually when I take a ride to an airport, it's about $35-$40.
Yeah,
it was $85. Yeah, and I'm not far, so it was kind of crazy. So that's why I wanted to talk about the peak pricing, because I think we're going through a peak, and we'll definitely release. We're going to talk about pricing. We get some prices of trucks that I wanted to give you examples and show you what the trucks are selling for. And I've actually found I have a little surprise at the end of the podcast. I found something ridiculous, which is, I don't know if it's ridiculous. I shouldn't use that word, but it's out there as far as pricing and the truck. But I also want to talk about that a little bit. So, do you think it's a good time to sell trucks right now, or buy trucks, or is it a good time to sell?
Definitely, you're gonna get your money's worth right now.
Yeah, because it's a buyer's market, right? Everybody's looking for trucks. So I got a couple of things I found I want to talk about. It's the timing. We had guests last podcast that they started, their truck dealership, which is a good, you see an opportunity, you take it, you start a used truck dealership in the market that's pretty strong.
That's pretty hot right now. Yeah, definitely.
Fleets are experiencing longer wait times because of supply chain issues and months-long surge in orders. The industry backlog is at its highest level since March 2019, according to ACT research. So what that backlog means is there's so many orders coming in, they can fulfill them, and it just keeps piling up. And fleets are looking for recent model, this is the key one I found is fleets are looking for recent model used trucks as a stopgap until new trucks they have ordered are delivered. And it's a good time to have trucks, and it's a good time to have newer trucks. Werner Enterprise CEO to logistics management. So this is the one. Fleets are looking for recent model used trucks as stopgap until they receive the trucks ordered, which drives the prices up. And and we'll see it at the end when we give the prices out. But that's also interesting that now not only they're holding on to their fleets, but they're also now scoping out
like
the used truck market and buying out the
meanwhile
trucks.
they receive their newer units,
which usually they wouldn't do. They would just go buy new ones, you know.
And that's what's making those units go for a lot more. Those, let's say, 2019s, 2018s.
Mm-hmm.
They know that the bigger fleets are in the need for trucks, so hey, why not bump up the price?
Yeah, which means the truck production slowdown. Is there a slowdown? Well, from what I've researched from Daimler Trucks North America, this week we began implementing revolving downtime at our Mount Holly, North Carolina, and Santiago, Mexico plants for their production through June of 2021. So they've slowed down production because of the chip shortage. And then I looked into Volvo. They're expecting, like, they didn't say anything officially, and the same thing with Mack, which is the same thing as
shortage.
Volvo. So they're saying Q2, which this article came out in, I think March. Yeah, that was March, and end of March. And they said, yeah, we're expecting a slowdown and we are planning for it. So it's, as of right now, we are at the end of May, and from what we've been seeing, it's been slowing down as far as the production, what they've been doing. So they predicted that 2 months ago, and they are slowing down. They did shut down.
Right.
Volvo did shut down for a little bit. No, they not shut down. Freightliner. Volvo also had issues with production, but I think it was a union strike or something. That's why they shut down. Yeah, so that's one thing. We've briefly touched on the chip shortage in a previous podcast. But do you remember what was the reason for the chip shortages? Was I talking to you about that, or
I think it was about that ship that was stuck in a canal, right? No, one of the ports.
That sort
you think
of
that's
impacted it. No, but the biggest reason was that when we started shutting down, people stayed at home and they started ordering a lot of home goods, computers and screens and TVs and things like that. And to my understanding, from what I've read, the chip manufacturing can be shifted. Like when they're making the chips, they can be shifted to different types of goods.
Okay.
And that when the surge of TVs and computers started, that's when it went, because we stopped producing trucks, and they didn't plan for it. So they were like, well, now we have a lot of TVs and cell phones and computers produced, but now all that's not going to truck production and car production. So,
which is why we're backed up now.
Yeah. Who knows how that's gonna go? I did read some. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I did read some interesting information around where we're headed with that, and what is it gonna do to truck pricing in the future, because we'll talk about those prices, and there's some of them are, it would be, from what I'm seeing right now, what we bought and what I've decided to pull trigger on in the early Q1 this year, right now, I wouldn't buy those trucks.
So definitely you pulled the trigger right on time.
Yeah. Well, the bulk maybe helps too. If you're buying retail, that's different, but. Let's talk about prices then. Auction pricing for trucks under 600,000 miles is in the stratosphere. J.D. Power Valuation Service reported in its last commercial truck guideline newsletter. For example, model year 2018 trucks with under 500,000 miles are selling at auction at around $70,000.
That's crazy, dude.
Under $500,000, and I've seen those prices, and I've seen those retail. I did not understand. I didn't know that auctions were doing
that
this
high,
as well.
right?
Compared to the first 4 months of 2021, Power's benchmark group of 4 to 6 year old trucks were selling for 76% more than the same period a year ago. We don't see much relaxation in pricing for trucks with average to low mileage for at least another 2 months in this the newsletter said. And that's 2000, I think it was
That would
April
be
2021. The newsletter came out. ACT research reported that preliminary used Class 8 same dealer sales were 51% higher year over year. Activity for the first 4 months is running 29% ahead of the same year ago period. Class 8 prices are up 45% over April a year ago. The average sleeper tractor sold at retail in April was 68 months old, had 432,000 miles, and brought $62,000. Compared to April 2020, the average sleeper was 7 months old and had 34,000 more miles and brought 20,000 more money, Power said. Interesting. Retail prices have been rising since the fourth quarter and could reach historic highs before leveling off, Power said. It's definitely something I've never seen. And it's very, I don't know, is it a good time to buy a truck? This is what happens with the peak, usually. When something goes up,
got to come down.
mm-hmm.
And that's going to be, I don't know, I would say probably, I'd give it Q2 next year. It's roughly should be dropping. I don't see it being that strong for the rest of the year.
The rest of the year will, because we're going to go into holiday peak. Q2, it
maybe
depends.
a little too early.
You know, if we knew, we could talk about what other people are saying and predicting, but in the financial world. But I can tell you, if we're looking at post peak, right, which is Q1, Q2 next year, it all depends on the housing. It depends on a lot of things. Is the capacity going to come back? The driver shortage is pretty bad, which is a separate topic. But is the driver shortage going to shrink? What's the load to truck ratio? Those are some numbers that we could probably revisit in Q1 next year and talk about that. But who knows? If a lot of drivers come back to the market, then that might be a pretty quick
recovery rate.
Downhill.
Well, downhill.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. But let's talk about the truck pricing. Let's talk about the pricing that we found. That's very interesting. And what I wanted to do is what we've done is we found two models of Volvos and Freightliners, comparable years and mileage, and I want to talk about that and what we know what happened. What was two years prior to pre-pandemic prices, right? So 2017 Volvo Vnl 670. This is mileage 433,000 miles with the D13 I-shift automatic transmission, 433,000 miles, double bunk, road ready truck. Pretty typical normal spec, right? 2017. Again, 433,000 miles. The price is $55,000. What do we remember for that truck? The 17, we've mentioned that before. Remember that?
Stay away from first gen
common rail. We just don't recommend it. This is something what we wouldn't do. If you have to buy it, a lot. I don't know. Again, we don't recommend it. So let's say that $55,000. I remember. Well, pre-pandemic, they would still cost more than that, but I don't remember specifically 2017. I remember 16s, and with the same mileage, because again, I wasn't looking at 17s because I didn't want to buy the common rail, but the 16s with the same mileage back then were,
I would say, like 10,000 less?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Mid-40s.
Mid-40s.
So that's one. The 2012 VNL 670. This one's interesting.
This one has Volvo under D13 as well. Says injectors just replaced. Has a new fridge, so that's a
Pretty
plus.
common thing for the Volvos. The common thing is that they need to replace
Injector cups. Well,
No, I was going to talk about the fridge, but
Beat you to it.
the fridge it goes out a lot in those, and the injectors for sure. Yeah,
But this
go
one, the
ahead.
mileage is 750,
Mhm.
and it's a 2012. This one's going for 30,000.
I wouldn't pre-pandemic. I wouldn't look at this for 715.
Yeah, that's 2012. That's
As-
still
I
gonna
would,
be the
I would,
number,
I
yeah.
would, buy, I probably wouldn't buy it, but I would. That's what I would see. You would like less than $20,000. That truck would be
Yeah.
going for, and now it's 30.
Next one up, we have a 2012 Cascadia. This has a Cummins in there. Mileage on it is 896, so
High up
100,000 right before the mill. Doesn't say, it says overhauled at Kenworth. So transmission doesn't say. I would probably say 10 speed.
Mm-hmm.
10 speed most likely, and this one's going for 35,000. That's a little high for a 2012 though. I mean, I understand it was
mileage?
overhauled.
With that mileage too.
Yeah,
It almost 900,000.
900,000. Yeah,
That would also be lower 20s truck.
yeah, definitely.
You know, we had customers that bought 2012s, even 13s and 14s for $21,000.
Yeah.
With less mileage. And the last one,
Last one, we have a 2017 Cascadia. This one has a DD15 in there. Mileage on it is 665. And the price on this is, 64,000.
right?
That's high, dude. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it does have an APU on there,
Yeah.
so that kind of makes up for the price right there.
That
a
makes it
little
up,
bit,
and we
but
don't see the full spec, but it.
10 speed on there as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still crazy high, dude.
And you're looking 2017 Freightliner Cascadia versus 2017 Volvo. Look at that price difference.
Mileage difference too, as well. Take a look at that.
Mileage difference too. The Freightliner has 665,000. The Volvo has 433,000, and Volvo's 10,000 cheaper.
You got a first gen common rail, and then you got a 2017. So yeah, it's
You have a 2017 Detroit, so DD15.
with an APU. So that's
What would you, if you had to choose between those two?
If I would have to choose, I would say, to be honest, I'd still go with the Volvo.
Even though it's a virgin company?
I'd go for it.
Really?
I'd go for it.
Why you don't like the DD15s again?
Oil pressure.
Mhm.
Oil pressure is always low on them. You just got to take care of it. I mean, there's people that they know that the oil pressure is low, but they'll be like, I could get a few more oil change out of it. And
Mhm.
before you know it, you're just shorting the life on that engine.
Yeah. Yeah. But there you go. And one more thing that I had that I kept for last thing was I found a listing. I'm not going to pull it up. I have it in my head. It was I want you to give me a price for this. It was 100. What was the mileage? No, it wasn't. It was 75,000 over on after overhaul. It was a Peterbilt 379 glider kit with 12.7 Detroit.
Okay.
All right, 13 speed, 12.7 Detroit glider kit. As the entire truck looked beautiful. Obviously, the new cab that it was 2015. So 2015 glider, 12.7, 13 speed. Around 80,000 after overhaul, 75,000 after overhaul, with 600,000 on the chassis, on the truck.
But it was overhauled
But
already.
it was overhauled 75,000 miles ago.
Oh, I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
How much do you think that was?
Well, you said 75, right? Or
I didn't say the price now. 75,000 miles after overhaul.
oh, okay. That's I would say 85,000, but that seems a little 85 to 90. Maybe I'm shooting too high, but for a glider.
2015, 600,000 glider, Peterbilt 379.
12.7, right?
Go up.
95.
150,000.
150. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is it gonna sell for that? Probably not. Or maybe, I don't know. I'm crazy, but depending on, I don't know. I didn't look who did the overhaul, but it was a crazy price.
That's crazy price, dude.
That's what you said is, I would pay for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay no more than 100 for that. No way. I don't care if it was overhauled. No more than 100.
No, it's almost that there. It's way over. It's Peterbilt, but that's a truck that you're just gonna keep forever.
Yeah.
Like if somebody sells that, then it's just like, why would you sell?
I mean, for 150, it better be a crate motor. It's not gonna be an overhaul. It better be a drop in.
Yeah, true. But
that's gonna be how hard.
But again, it changes a little bit the price if you know who overhauled it, and if it was Detroit rebuild, then
Correct.
That's still, but that doesn't justify the price.
Yeah, no.
So that's it. Pricing is crazy. I think it's making it a little bit harder for anybody now to buy anything and find something. So find good pre-emission trucks if you can.
That's really hard right now.
Which is also hard, yeah. But I would say just work harder to find a truck because the prices are ridiculous.
We did have a subscriber. She came by a couple of weeks ago. Remember I was mentioning. It was a 07 D12. The engine was swapped in there. It had 1 million miles. I think she was going to pick it up for roughly 13. And brand new Michelin on the steer. Brand new, I think they were like Goodyears on the drive. Not too sure, but that seemed like a great deal.
Yeah, you thought it was a good deal?
Oh, yeah.
From what
frame was in a great condition. The cab wasn't rusted out on the bottom. Nothing, everything.
Nice.
Perfect. So we'll hopefully hear back from her, see what she says if she ended up buying.
Keep us posted. Thank you for stopping by. I think that's it. We appreciate you guys listening. If you're looking for any type of work as a diesel tech or driver or owner op, hit us up.
Or dispatcher, hit us up.
Dispatcher. We're good. No, actually dispatchers too. We're looking for anybody right now. But own operators at US or go to our goaerotransport.com. You can find us there and hit us up. We need some good team members. Appreciate you listening, watching, and we'll talk to you soon.